and welcome to this Kennel Connection training video. This video is going to go over the live access feature and all the options that you have in here. This is a feature that the employees would use to use Kennel Connection remotely from a tablet or a phone, laptop, or desktop computer from anywhere they want to be. You can do everything in here related to appointments, clients, and pets. So you can add clients and pets. You can check appointments in and out, print the reports, change anything on the appointments, and so forth. This syncs back live to your database. So if I make an appointment here, I add a new pet, I check somebody in, it's going to sync back over to desktop KC, and vice versa. If you check somebody in on your desktop, it will update it in live access and show that they're checked in. So this first screen that we're in, this is your dashboard. These are all the appointments you have today for boarding, daycare, and grooming. So we can scroll down and kind of see everything that we have. You have a section for who you're waiting on. They have not checked in yet. Then you have the animals or pets that have already checked in. And then we have who's already checked out. On awaiting arrival, you'll see we have these little icons. This is a nice feature. So instead of going to try to find this information, you just hold your mouse over the icon. So you have instructions for the appointment. You have pet warnings, client warnings and notes and so on. We have the blue globe. That means that this is an online reservation. So it's just nice. I don't have to go back and try to find all this stuff. Over here on the right is my menu, similar to what you have in desktop. So you can check the appointments in and out. I can edit these appointments and change anything I'd like. I can open the pet and the client card through here, change that information. You can do things like add belongings, print the boarding contract, the kennel card, and so on. This also has a filtering system for the dashboard. So I could just opt to show a particular module. I could decide what order does this display in. This also has a search feature. So if I only want to see what appointment storage is assigned for, I can just choose his name or type his name in, and it would just be his appointments. If I only wanted to see what baths I had today, that's something that I can click on, or type in and have a display. So let's see what an appointment looks like. Oh, I'm going to go back. Let's go to this appointment. So here's an appointment for this pet. I really like the way it's designed, that all the important information is at the top of the screen. So the vet name would be listed if you had one. What kind of services does he get today? Of course, the vaccine information is pretty important. When you look at these screens, these names are highlighted. This is the client name, and then the pet name Tigger is also highlighted. This is a shortcut. So instead of searching for that pet to try to open it, you can just easily click on the name and it takes you right to the pet card. So we have most of the features that your desktop has. So the notes are all here. We have additional notes if you had any. If you ever needed to change anything on the client or the pet, you have to click your edit button, and that's what brings up these fields. So if I had to update the vet, I can go ahead and choose one in here. I'm going to save that. The vaccinations can be updated either through here or through the appointment screen. All of the appointments are listed here. It has the same menu, so I can open it and change it. So similar to your desktop, you can do that stuff through the pet card. You can do it through the appointment screen. You can attach documents in here. So if you attach a document in your desktop KC, that shows in live access. I can actually open it through here too if I'd like to. Then we have the module tabs. This is where you do your default information. So does this pet have to have a special rate for boarding or a special run size? I can do that. Then grooming would be groom notes. That's pretty common that groomers use. So you can add that through here. Default pricing for grooms or the employee. That's something that you can set up through here. And daycare is very similar. Default daycare type or price, that sort of thing. You can add pictures through here. So if I add a picture through live access, it will pull over to desktop and vice versa. So then if I click over to the client name, that brings up her record or the client card. Again, I can edit it and change anything I need to. The invoices and receipts are in here too. You're able to print those out. You're not able to edit those yet through here, but I can open it and see what it is, print it out if I ever needed to, that sort of thing. So it's a little small. So this is it. It looks exactly like it would be if you printed it out on your desktop. So this is our dashboard. Now, some folks really like the schedules because they're used to that. So every module has its own schedule in here too. So maybe you like this better because this is what it looks like right now. So a different or an additional feature in here that you don't have in your desktop is you're able to turn off any of these columns and you can sort them however you'd like. So in your desktop, you're only able to turn off a few columns, but here you could turn off everything. So you really get to customize it to whatever information you need to see. And then you can decide what order it shows in just by doing these arrows up and down. Again, check them in and out with clicking these three little dots on the left here. It does have a calendar, so if you like the calendar better, that's something that you can do. We have the run glance in here for boarding. If you did have assigned runs to daycare or grooming, they would also show here similar, just like your run glance in your desktop. You just aren't able to move any pets to run glance in here yet. We have a shortcut for make an appointment. You just choose the pet and then choose the dates, and we're going to go over that in a moment here. All of the reports for boarding is in here, so you just click on report. So, for example, if you wanted to print a feeding schedule, you just click to do that. We have the roll call at the bottom. Maybe you do that right now where you make sure who's there. So every report that you do for boarding, you're able to print through here. We do have a wait list, or the wait list feature in here. So if you have pets that are on your wait list, you're able to see that, open that through your live access. Grooming has its own section. It's the same thing as boarding. An additional feature for grooming that is brand new in live access is in the calendar, you're able to assign colors to the breeds or the employees. So the way that works is in your calendar, you would click on this little gear and you would go to breeds, and this is where you assign the colors. So it's whatever makes sense for your business. Maybe red means it's a 2-hour appointment, or purple means it's a long-haired dog. You would just do add new, choose whatever breed you want. You can do multiple breeds for the same color. Then you just choose a color. You can either scroll down this list, or I like to do other. Then I can just click around here and choose the color that I want. Employees is the same way. You just go in and choose the employee and assign a color. So the way this works is once you set it up, on this screen at the top right, you can click on breed, and that's going to outline the appointments in those colors. So it's just a visual way you can look at your schedule and say, oh, I have 3 green appointments today. And that means whatever it means for your business. So it's just a fast way to see what you have booked. And then if you want the groomer color, you click that. That's the inside of the appointment. So you can see kind of what colors are assigned for today. That shows on this calendar, but it also shows on the schedule. So if you like this screen better, I'll just turn them off so you can see what they look like. So I can turn on the breed, and I can turn on the groomer here too. So that's a new feature. All of the reports are here too for grooming. So your groom log, groomer report, whatever you may need for grooming, you can print that through here. Then daycare, it has its own schedule. Same thing, all the reports are here and so on. Reports, these are the rest of your reports. So your closeout report would be here. If you need to print in other services through list or birthday list, that's all done through here too. We just added the inventory report. So if you have a need for that, that's under other, and you can print the same report that you do on your desktop. Your inventory list or your low report, you can print through here. We're going to skip this section. So for the employees of how you use this, you would do users list. So this is where you decide what employees are able to use live access. There's 2 different settings for access rights. The first is actually in your desktop KC. So we're going to jump over there and go into employees. So you can either set up an ID that everybody shares, maybe call it front desk, or everybody can have their own ID and password. But what's important in here is you would go to access rights, and this is where you decide what they're able to access. And this is also going to be used for live access. So for example, for Allison, I don't give her access to revenue, so that's not something that she can click on in live access. Maybe you don't want them adding clients or pets, or deleting them or modifying. So that would be something that you can turn on in here, and then that will pull over to live access. So that's the first section of how that works. The second part is when you actually set them up, there are a couple different levels for the security. So these are the 4 options that you have. So we do have a restricted groomer feature. That means if you set an employee to that, the only thing they can see when they log into Live Access is a list of their grooming appointments and their just what they're assigned to. So they would not be able to see any other groomer schedule. They can't do things like print reports. It's just for them to do their own appointments. So that's an option. Then you have employee. This is just regular, whatever access they have from desktop. And they're not able to do anything for online reservations if you use that feature. If you do use online reservations, they have to be at least a front desk. That would allow them to approve or deny online reservations. And then a manager, of course, is like the admin. It can access everything in here. So this is one part of how you restrict what they're able to do. We also have this access restrictions. This would be if you want to restrict when they're able to use Live Access. So maybe you want to restrict your employees to use this only when you're actually open. That would be something you can do. So maybe you're not open on the weekend. You would turn that off. You get to choose at what hours you'd like them to use it. And you can also do different levels for an employee versus a manager. Maybe a manager, you want them to access it 24/7, so you'd actually turn this off. So this is another way to restrict it. You can also restrict what IP address they can use. This means the internet connection. So if you only want them to use it at your store, even if they're on their phone or their tablet, you would put your IP address in here. That's the only place they would use it. But maybe you want them to be able to use it at their house. So you can put their IP address, but that would restrict them. They couldn't just go anywhere in the world and be able to use it. So this is an option if you'd like to turn it on. This is a shortcut to add new clients, new pets. So I'm just going to show you briefly how to add a new appointment. So we're going to do a multiple pet appointment for boarding. So you type in the person. When the screen comes up, you just click off the pets that you want. So I'm going to book 3 pets. Then you can default down here what date. It's just on today. If I had the schedule open to September 1st, that's the date when it would actually pull up. So in here, it looks different than your desktop, but everything is still in here. So over on the right, this is where you switch between the pet and you can choose different runs for them. We have the view button, which is what you use now. So you can see, choose a run through here, see if it's already reserved. Let's do a date range so we can see. There we go. So we have some appointments that are already booked. So I know 21R is already taken. But if these pets were to share a run, I can do this on the left here. So now they're all going to be assigned to that. We have the same messaging in your desktop if you see this about rates and so forth. So you just put whatever you'd like it to say. On down a little bit, I can update the vaccinations. I just switch between the pets. See, this guy already has vaccinations. This pet doesn't have any, so I can just choose a date if I'd like to. Departure services, of course, if they're supposed to get a groom or a bath before they go home, you just tell it like you do now. What do they want? What time they're supposed to go home if you want to assign an employee at this stage. So this is for bingo, and then I can go to Freddie. Maybe you're just supposed to get a bath, let's say. If we scroll down a little bit, you are able to do inventory items through here if that's a feature that you use. And at the very bottom is other services. So these are our extra services maybe that we have. Maybe they have to get their anal glands done. And then the feedings and the meds and exercise are exactly like your desktop. So you choose the item, it defaults to the date of the appointment, and you just tell it how often are they supposed to get it. So we have things about vaccinations similar to what you're used to. If you use holidays and vacations, it will tell you that too. So that appointment's now been added to the schedule. So very simple. When I go to my desktop, this appointment also exists there. So it's just great. You can be anywhere making these appointments. So there's our shortcut for the appointments. The next feature we're going to look at is I wanted to show you the Client Explorer. That's at the top right here, left. I can pin this into place, meaning I just hit this push pin. So this is always here. It hides my menu though, so I can always click to get it out of the way, the little 3 slashes up here. So let's do the, I can also make appointments through here. Same thing, you just tell it what module and so forth. So it's a nice option. I can also look at inactive clients. So I would click this little gear at the top right. I just tell it I'm going to show my inactive list. And then these are my inactive clients. And to switch back over to my live list, I just click it again and uncheck this box. If I have to add a new client, I do the plus sign up here. And that's how I add that. So you can add clients and pets through here. The next one is our texting system. So I'm actually going to go to our demo site so you can see what this looks like. So this is an unlimited two-way texting system. So we would set this up for you. We create a phone number for you, so you're not using your own personal phone number or business number. You have restrictions of who can actually use the texting system if you have a need for that. We have an away message. So if they send you a text in the middle of the night, you can have them send this message automatically. This is a total customized message. All these boxes that you guys see that have stuff in brackets, it's going to load your business name, loads other information like pet name. So you don't have to type that in every time. And then at the bottom here is the automatic messages you can turn on. So these are really cool. So this is a confirmation text. So as soon as I make a boarding appointment, it's going to send that text to the client. I have a thank you when I check out. So as soon as I check the pet out, that's what triggers this message to go. We have appointment reminders. This is a very popular feature. You just decide how many days before they're supposed to check in do you want this to go. This is automatic from our side, so you guys don't even have to be there for this to send. This has this reply yes, no feature with it that you can opt to turn on. So if you turn this on, the system sends the reminder. If the client replies yes, Kennel Connection confirms that appointment on the schedule. It will check the confirm box for you. And if they reply no to it, it will cancel the appointment on the schedule. So that's a nice feature. If you turn it on, it's automatic done by the system. So you don't have to do anything, but it's optional. You don't have to turn that on if you don't need it. Grooming has the same option. The only additional feature is the completed text. So when you mark the groom complete on the schedule, that's what triggers that text to go. And then Daycare has the same options as the other two. This is our inbox. So these are all the messages that we have. So you can go through and see this is a reminder that went out over on the right here. You can send pictures through here, things like that. Of course, clients love that. So this is a nice system. It's unlimited two-way, so you can send and receive as many texts as you'd like. With this feature, I'm going to jump back to my system. We have a text to pay feature. So this is under financial. So this is a way that you can send a link for a deposit or an invoice, and the client can pay that through the link that you send. So they're not standing there trying to pay you while you have a bunch of dogs in the lobby. You get to tell it, do you want to send this via text or via email? But you can always change it once you actually send it. So this is our message for a deposit. You can change this in any way that you want. Again, it'll load like your business name and the amount and so forth, but otherwise you can change. And then down here is for invoices. So the way this works is you would make your invoices like normal. Let's see if Barbara has any open invoices. So she has one here. So when you're ready to send the link, you would just come into this little arrow and do send payment link. So what's really cool about this feature is if the client has open invoices, multiple invoices, you can send them all at the same time if you like. You just check the box. So maybe I'm going to send 2 of them. At the bottom here is where it defaults to email. That's how I have this system set up. If you had it defaulted to the text message, that's how it would show. But I can opt to change it at this stage if I needed to. And then I just hit send. And as a business, that's all I have to do. The client now takes over. When they pay, everything is automatically done for me. So for the client, they would come to their email. And see that link just came through. So they just click on the link. Don't forget this message is customized. So all they do is click pay now. What's really a great feature is they're able to open these invoices through here. So they're able to see exactly what it is. This would look the same as if you had printed it out and handed it to them. So it's a nice option. They don't really need to call and ask you questions. They can see exactly what it is. If they don't have a card already on file, they would be required to put one at this stage. It will be saved for next time so that they can click to use it. This is also saved on your side so that if they come in the store in the meantime, you already have a card on file. They would do confirm payment. This is a really nice option. It automatically brings up this tip screen. We're getting a lot of feedback from clients. They're getting a ton of tips just by having this pop-up message. So you're not having that awkward conversation to ask the client, do they want to leave a tip? They just do it when they're on their phone paying their invoice. So they choose the option they want. It tells them what's going to be charged. We also have a feature for that service fee. So you guys, when you process cards, you're charged an amount for that, 3.5%, 4%, whatever it may be. Service fee is a way that you can pass that along to your client, so you're not paying for that. So ultimately, you pay nothing for credit card processing. So this is a great feature if you decide to turn this on. Then they just click that they want to pay it. So that's how fast it was. That now has been paid. As a business person, the employee, I don't have to do anything. The system has done everything for me. So if I go back over to my receipt, this is the receipt that just came in, that 8807. The invoice has been paid, that one I just sent. So it's nothing that I have to do. And then we have our payment links history here. So I can go in and kind of see what happened. I can resend links or whatever I may need to do. So this is for the employees to use. It's a nice system to be remote with Kennel Connection. The online reservations is yet another section. This is for your clients to do client portal and make online reservations. We have separate videos for these, so please take a minute to view those if you'd like. But live access is for yourself to use, you and your employees. If you have questions on this or would like to set up some training time, we can do that. Our number is 888-486-4343. We're at option 2, or you can send us an email to support@softwareconnectionllc.com.